Hey, all you witchy people out there. Welcome to the Magic Ringers Rising chats for the week of March 27th into April 2nd. So we got a lot of Aries energy, of course. We have a stellium, but find out what's kind of countering that and how you can learn to work with those energies so that you can feel on top of your intuitive connection so you're free and flowing with it, and how to use those energies to manifest your dream life. Stay tuned for the episode. Welcome to Magic Bringers Rising Chats, a show by Super Secret Powers. I'm your host, Lindsay Baldessano, and let's get ready for a dose of energy healing, channeled guidance, and humor to keep your intuitive flow open and your roots grounded so you can weave the life of healing, spiritual purpose, and magic that you want. So, we have a busy week, astrologically and energetically speaking. Lots of little attunements here and there and everywhere around. But of course, it's, the big ones that we're going to keep talking about for this next, God knows, God knows how long. Goddess knows how long. Um, because there are just some things going on that we haven't seen before. I mean, look at all the comets that we keep discovering. Um, and we have, Pluto and Aquarius, and we have lots of things going on. But more specifically, speaking of those little transits and all that happen always, just always. Um, we have a lot of Mercury energy, and a lot of Chiron energy, because Chiron is starting to do a little wibble wobble as it begins to go into its retrograde cycle for the year, for many months. So, I mean, definitely it's a week for words, and it's a week for integrity and alignment, bringing things into focus. I really think with Chiron, because we also have a Mars and Saturn thing happening. And Mars is moving into Cancer midweek. And that's going to change a lot of how we're experiencing this Aries stellium. Now, the Aries stellium is good until next Monday. And then it will start to come back out of alignment. We'll still have a lot of stuff in Aries. It just, it won't be in the same alignment as it was in before. Um, But we're going to get back to the Mars and Saturn stuff, Mars and Saturn in alignment stuff, and the Mars and Cancer stuff in a minute. Because we've got like a lot of outer planet stuff happening. And I really feel like that's going to really call in other times and other places. And if you have this kind of week where you start really focusing in on past life stuff or Akashic record stuff, I mean, this is a definite week to explore that, to get a lot of clarity in that. So find a reader for your own self and your own peace of mind to make this integration a little bit easier. Yeah, but beyond that, we'll get more into detail about this week per se when we talk about, Mars moving into Cancer, because that begins in a couple days. But we are moving into eclipse season after the two really big planetary shifts of the year that happened earlier in March. So it's a little bit of calmness before the storm again. So we had like one huge thing, and now we're doing some little shuffles around until we get closer to the first eclipse, which will be new moon. It'll be, you know what, I didn't write it down. It's either the 27th or the 29th of April. And again, there's a time thing happening around this. So don't be surprised if, over this next month, you really start experiencing different times in different places maybe you go backwards because of some of the Pluto and the Chiron stuff, but then you like propel, then like your attention is propelled more toward the future or possibilities, or even like say parallel dimensions, things like that, as we come closer to this whole April eclipse, because it's connected to the eclipse in 2024, which is going to be a big deal. I mean, people are already talking about it. It's, it's a ring of fire eclipse. It's the great North American eclipse. It's, one of those things. And especially if you are in the States, it's going to bring up a lot of stuff around who America really is. We're already in that energy because we had our return last year. And now we have Pluto back in Aquarius from when, our revolution was really beginning to take momentum. And, um, so we're in that energy anyway. So I think North America is really going to see this huge shift over this next year into 2024 when we have that big eclipse that's going to be seen all over North America. All right. But it's a bit of a pattern weight break. It's a bit of a time to get creative this week with your connection to the Aries fire. And I wouldn't worry about too much about getting like way ahead of yourself. Or if you do find yourself getting way ahead of yourself, don't worry. This week does have that kind of counterbalance with the Mars and Saturn, and Mars moving into Cancer. And then next week, we're going to have even more kind of grounding energies when after the Aries stellium begins to dissipate, we're going to have the Taurian stellium. So things will calm down, things will come home, we'll be more in our bodies and less like woo woo way out here. I'm Aries. I thrive in this. So I'm good with the woo woo out here. um, so I wouldn't worry too much about your grounding. But if you do feel yourself getting like way out there and way ahead of yourself, and you're projecting like, plans and dreams for 5 years down the line, certainly run with it, but also come back. Make sure you're recording this stuff. Make sure you're writing these kinds of plans and big vision things down, because they're really seeds. Seeds are going to be planted, and you have the choice to start planting them now. And it's not going to look like it does on paper when you recorded it. It's going to look very different because you're just working with just the base seed. You're not in the flow of the book or the business or the big career shift yet. So, you're seeing far ahead, but remember, you're going to need to really ground into that, and ground into that beautiful energy that is coming through to begin to even plant it and grow it in fertile soil as it's possible. All right, so Mars in Cancer, not exactly the worst alignment out there for energy. We got 8 weeks of it starting, I guess it's Wednesday. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, Wednesday. Um, it's gonna, it's kind of dampen down the airy stuff a little bit, but I think it's a good opportunity for us to practice embodiment. I know Cancer is really water, not earth, but um, you know, it's the body is certainly the body, and the body energy field around us is certainly the place of our emotions. And I think that the more embodied we can get this week about what we're feeling in the moment, and that very Aries energy, let's go, let's go, let's go. Um, let's go explore this shit kind of energy. The more we can get in tune with how we're feeling about it, the easier it's going to be to manage this Aries and the big Aries energies that we have. Because Cancer, those gut feelings, the jingles, the tingles, and all that. I can't think of another word. We're getting to a late start today with this because I'm finally back from my vacation, and I slept in my own bed and I took a shower in my own shower, and we're finally getting like into the flow of business as usual here at Super Secret Powers. So don't mind me. But so certainly watch that emotional alignment. Watch what you feel emotionally ready to commit to and what you don't. Not because it's necessarily a stop sign, I always say this, but because you might need to do more alignment work around it. What place do you need to be in order to say yes to something on a deeper level? What are maybe some boundaries even you might need to put into place in order for you to feel like, okay, yes, I can do that. I can make that commitment. Just so you're not overextending yourself, right? Because we're not going to have this Aries energy forever. So you're not going to have this get up and go and do, and it has to be done now, push and feelings for very long. Right? So let's just use that to figure out where our focus and our energy and our attention needs to be, and make what adjustments we need to make in order for us to be in alignment with these choices coming through. Anything else? Nope. Because I already went over how next week's going to be even more grounded, because we're going to have that Taurian stellium. So we'll be really embodied by then. We'll be, much more at home in creating our routines and our places of comfort and our comfortable flow spots next week. So ride the Aries wave as you can, but keep that eye on, am I really ready to emotionally and energetically commit to these big plans at the moment? And if you're not, break it down to smaller steps. Really feel into where you need to put those boundaries and where you need to put your mindset, and perhaps even your financial positioning at this point in time in this crazy world. Pluto, thank you. No, not. Yeah. And really feel into where that alignment sweet spot is this week. Okay. Now, before we jump to light language, because we're at 12 minutes already, I am, and I think I announced this before I went on the trip, or maybe you saw it last week in my totally munched video, because nothing ever goes right when you need it to go right and you're not at home to fix it. I am doing a 5-day masterclass, a free masterclass experience on Facebook. Well, the group will be on Facebook, but of course there'll be emails, that you can tune into and join in with, but it's called Intuitively Aligned. And we're going to find out. Let me put my notes over here. Okay. So 5 days, and we're going to go over how to find alignment anytime, anywhere, how to get back into that sweet spot, and how to accept yourself and your guidance so that you can begin to trust your abilities and your higher self, and that more fullness and multi-dimensional self that you are. And so that you can figure out intuitively what you need to feel in order to be more confident, more flowing, and just manifest the shit out of your life on a more consistent basis. Find out what it takes to be intuitively aligned in a world where it is so easy to get lost in a sea of stress, anxiety, doubt, and find out what it takes for you and your unique divine connection to be open and flowing and in trust and in alignment. So, if you want to find out how to be in that sweet spot more consistently so that you can feel secure and clear and in purpose, and you can feel your impact out in the world as your beautiful, witchy, wild, light workery self, then look for the link to sign up for the free masterclass. It's either going to be in the notes above or below this video, depending on what channel you're watching it on. And I can't wait. I cannot wait to meet you and to start this masterclass. But on to light language. So welcome to the light language portion of this episode of Magic Bringers Rising. And today we're pulling in some energies to help with embodiment. And remember the pleasure around being an embodied energy source, at least in this one very small aspect of self. But yeah, just take a couple of deep breaths and once you find yourself calm and mostly centered, maybe you just want to take your hands and place them on your hips or on your lower belly. And just breathe and relax as we do this energy transmission. Today I am working with matroliite, which is an excellent stone for ascension work, and I'm working with howlite just to help us remember that our time, our body, the physical space we take up, the impact, our footsteps on the earth are all very sacred things. And if you don't catch half my hand movements, because I have a feeling we're going to be low today, let's see if I can back up a little bit more. It's okay. Just now I'm working in probably the sacral root areas, maybe even the feet and the legs. You are safe to feel pleasure. You are safe to feel pleasure in your experience. You are safe to feel pleasure, even if things are not going as you expected or intended. That your expanding sense of pleasure, of joy, of contentment, of comfort, of flexibility with life be the signs you are looking for, the message in and of itself. For where you need to direct your energies. You enjoy being in your body for what this moment is, for what this lifetime is. And may you feel a deepened, extended sense of being part of a web of life around you, in your local environment, in your family, in your friend groups, in your cities and towns, in your region, in your continent, on your planet, and as part of the grid, as part of those who hold the light patterns for more than one. Learn to trust your sense of being. Learn to trust your sense that you are allowing yourself to enjoy even the smallest moments of this life, in this here and now, in this form. From how it feels to wiggle your toes, to how it feels to love and be loved, to how it feels to connect with higher mind, and how it feels to use your body's energy, its kineticism, its libido, its pure directed energy by your free will, directed by your free will, directed by your sense of love and enjoyment and fulfillment in this moment, in this moment, in this moment. This we ask for you and more. And thank you for receiving this and for participating with all of us, and of course with Super Secret Powers. So remember to find the sign up link for the 5-day masterclass for getting intuitively aligned. And if you're not in the Magic Bringers Rising group, this is Xander. He wants to say hi. If you're not in the Magic Bringers Rising group on Facebook, I invite you to join. So you stay abreast of all the stuff that's happening, and of course, the weekly episodes for Magic Bringers Rising chats. And I will see you around the web.